something as risky. Banking is the riskiest business in the world.
Absolutely.
When you do something like that, you cannot think of national interest. Your first duty is to shareholders of your company. So you cannot take a call that I'm going to risk 100% of capital to earn a 3% net interest margin and I will not do diligence. See, HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank are two of the largest banks in the country. They also have the same priorities. They also want to lend to the largest groups. But why do they not lend to some while the public sector banks lend to them? So this will bring this whole credit quality question back into the fore once again. And I hope one of these assets don't go bad, because it will hurt the credit cycle big time, and the credit cycle has just started picking up over the last 3 to 4 quarters.
And once again, yes, Siddharth, about SBI, LIC, the whole question of the public sector once again coming back, and this looks like there will be a domino effect, because if this continues,
so who are the ones who have bailed out the Adani issue?
But that's precisely my question. Regardless of the sort of names that floated, we don't have that detail, so we will at least there were market.
We'll find out. That will be public knowledge.
Find out. But the broader question is, we had big ticket investors, including royals from the UAE, also putting in money. Look at the way the stock is cracking. The point that you made. Within 24 hours of that investment, valuation getting significantly knocked down?
And there's nothing more that an investor hates than having bought it and immediately seen a 20-25% markdown in his purchase price. This is the worst kind of thing which can happen. It used to happen to those public sector FPOs. I remember back in the day, the government would make a big song and dance and do an ONGC follow-on public offer. And 1 month after that, the stock would be down 20%. So a lot of foreign investors I know have sworn that they will not buy a public issue from the government's table ever in their lives, because they've been stung from ONGC to NTPC to LIC more recently. They've never made money on those companies. So please forgive us, we are not interested in doing that.
We have who's wanting to hear this from you. What do people do at this point of time? Last 2-3 years, massive number of fresh entrants into the stock markets. What does this episode mean for them?
Well, and also to add to what Siddharth is saying, Udayan, how long, I mean, given the fact that Hindenburg and Adani are sparring on allegations and counter allegations and the kind of defense which they've been mounting, which doesn't seem to have held much water with Hindenburg. How long do you think, and now with credits, this latest development coming in, how long do you see this kind of negative sentiment playing out?
It's difficult to say, Saurav, because its effects, it goes beyond the 10 or 20 stocks we are talking about. You will remember last year when that Jack Ma episode was playing out in China. It was such a negative event for China's impression for foreign investors that they started calling China a banana republic, which they didn't want to invest in. Now, I'm not saying this is the same episode, but it colors the view of a lot of global investors who are looking at India as a destination, and they become very, very leery about putting fresh money in. Already India is losing money to China this year because of valuation differences. Now, because of this episode, they're saying we want to be careful, because India is, in the light of what has happened, looking like a classic emerging market destination and not that mighty India that we were talking about. So I think part of it is impression and sentiment as well, and not just the direct impact of what has happened with the Hindenburg episode. India's big problem over the last year has been consistent FII selling. They have sold many, many billions of dollars, and this is not going to help the cause of bringing that money back into the market. So we need now local investors to step up to the plate and support this market.
And this is not a market where local investors would have
so they are seeing all the circuit downs and then saying we should also wait now. So then who supports the market? That becomes the problem.